humble, sweet, kind of a shy individual. And I'll tell you a funny story about making that movie. It was a scene where I play an eye doctor who's giving a speech in front of this giant convention of other eye surgeons. And so there's this giant eyeball behind me that looks like something out of Clockwork Orange, where it's like open with hooks and stuff. So it's really kind of disgusting. And in the scene, the door, a door opens, and Robin Williams is there, and he sees that he's trying to escape, and he sees that it's all these people, and everybody's staring at him, and then he has to walk across in front of everybody and out through another door and to continue his attempted escape.
I actually remember that scene too.
Okay,
that's probably my favorite movie.
Here's the funny part. On one of the takes, and this is actually on film. They've got it somewhere. And imagine this. I'm up on stage doing my thing, and there's probably 150 extras that are in the audience that are pretending to be eye doctors. And the door slams open, right? And everybody looks over, and it's Robin Williams. He's taken off his pants. He's in his underwear. And he's holding like a little case in front of himself, and he continued the scene. He ended up walking. He walked in front of everybody with this, and then went through the door and out. And the director called cut. But yeah, he's a nutcase. He's so funny, and such a sweetheart, such a sweetheart. We did a lot of improv that day. He and I, he came up on stage and we just kind of vamped for a while. He's very cool. Very cool.
That sounds like one of those scenes that, like you've watched the outtakes or something, and then you see the scene, and right when the director yells "cut," the entire crew just explodes into laughter.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. Because he'd done it like 2 or 3 times normally, and then all of a sudden he's got no pants on. It was hysterical. It was great.
I would have fallen over or ruined the take. You are all much better actors than I, because I would not have been able to contain the laughter.
Well, the extras were looking at going, what's going on here? Is this supposed to happen? Because they're never told anything.
Yeah.
Very rarely. They're kind of trying to suck it up, going, well, maybe this is what he's supposed to be doing.
One of the things that I noticed, because I've done
maybe all those other times were a dress rehearsal.
Exactly.
Exactly. Oh, that was horrible.
And undress rehearsal. Yes.
Yes.
You both are so punny. I've just got to tell you right now. I
had to do it.
I was doing some extra stuff on Friday Night Lights, and obviously it's on a different scale, but it's so cool to. I don't know. I don't think you've ever worked with Kyle Chandler.
No.
Who was the coach on Friday Night Lights. Most recently was the father in Super 8, if you saw that.
Oh, haven't seen it yet, but it's on my Netflix queue.
Great film.
So yeah, looking forward to it.
Absolutely great.
Yeah, he's a very good actor. Very good actor.
Yeah. I tell people about it's piddly extra work. It's just doing it for fun. But I have pictures with all these people. Taylor Kitsch, who started out on Friday Night Lights and then was cast as Gambit in X-Men Origins Wolverine. So, it's like I said, it's on a different scale, but I totally get where you're coming from in terms of just the opportunity to work with these amazing people that entertain so much. And, I think where the respect comes from for you is, it must be pretty magnificent to be one of those people. Because you've got movie fans, but gamers are probably the most passionate fans of something. They
really are. They really are totally committed to it. There's a passion about gaming that's pretty unique, and it's pretty exciting, and it is fun to be around, obviously, and as an actor you have to work pretty hard. A lot of actors can, on camera, you can be successful and not have a whole heck of a lot of talent, because you have to look a certain way, you're attractive, whatever it might be. You have a certain amount of charisma that translates well onto the screen, so you're going to work. We all know actors that are in movies and TV shows, and you look at them and go, I don't get it, but they're stars. Okay.
Megan Fox. Continue.
In voice acting, it's a little bit different because there's really nothing to sit back on. You can't sit back on your good looks or bad looks or whatever. You have to have a certain amount of talent, and not only talent, you have to have a good amount of luck. You have to, because the competition is very, very fierce. The people that are working a lot, that are professional voiceover people, are really, really good. So once you get to a point of where you're working consistently and working with these people, it's an honor to be there. And to a man, just about everybody that you work with is really cool. Yep. I mean, everybody's very appreciative of the opportunity, and it's incredibly creative. And it really is true acting. You really need to pull it all out, everything that you've learned to when you go into a voiceover session. You can't be shy. And that's going to work against you. You can't be timid. You need confidence. You need to kind of go out there and lay it on the line, because everybody else is doing that. Every time we audition, I mean, if you're competing against me for something, or Rob Paulson, or some of these other guys, we want the gig as much as you do. Now, what is it that you're going to do that's going to separate you from everybody else, and that you're going to get the gig over us? Well, you're going to have to do a hell of a lot, because we've got a lot of experience. We've got, we know how to, we've worked with these people before, so they feel comfortable with us. It's going to take a lot to knock us off of off the job, which means you really have to work hard on the talent, because talent in voiceover will rise to the top. You will get your opportunity. You will get jobs. But if you're mediocre talent, forget it.
You don't have anything else to play on.
You're gonna get, you get a job every once in a while. It's like when we did this BlizzCon panel a couple of years ago. And Andre Romano was on the panel, and somebody asked her, "How do you break into voiceover?" And she said, you have to be good. I like to put it this way: there's always room at the top. Essentially, if you're really, really good, your talent's not going to be denied. You're going to work. But if you're marginal, if you're somewhere in the middle, basically we're full up. There's a ton of marginal talent out here. One of the hardest things to do as a voiceover person is to separate yourself from all the crap that's out there. And what separates yourself is going to be your talent and your drive. You've got to understand that you're going to lose a lot more than you win. So you've got to build up a kind of a thick coat when it comes to rejection, because rejection is a part of the game. You got to accept it and learn the lesson. Look at the people who are not working and figure out, well, what are they doing wrong? But more importantly, look at the people that are working and say, okay, what are they doing right? I was listening to, and I'm constantly learning, constantly studying, constantly trying to find out new stuff. I was listening to a podcast the other day with a friend of mine, Rob Paulson. We've talked about a few times. Emmy Award winner, Pinky and the Brain. He was talking to what's his name? Greg LaMarche, who played the Brain with him on the game, and they were talking about working with a guy named Frank Welker. Now, a lot of people don't know who Frank Welker is, but in the voiceover community, Frank Welker is a god. He is the voice of everything. He can be a monkey. He's unbelievable. And this guy was saying that he was working with him on a cartoon show, and he would just watch him and learn. And he says, I learned how to turn the page without making noise. Now, I'm thinking, wow, I don't know how to do that. And it was driving me crazy that they didn't tell you what the trick was. But I'm thinking, but then Rob and this other guy were talking about, because it's very important if you're doing a scene that's, say, 5 pages long, if you've got one actor that turns the page and it makes noise, they have to basically stop and then start up again. So you're like in the middle of a scene, you don't have this natural flow that goes through it. So it's a skill, it's a practical skill that doesn't have a whole lot to do with your acting talent, but it's a practical skill you need to know to be able to present your acting talent. A lot of actors don't think about things like that. It's little things like that that'll make a big difference. You work on that, all of a sudden you can, now you're not breaking up a scene, you're doing a scene completely. So it's little things like that where you're constantly trying to learn, and you learn from the good people, and they're not going to give up their tricks easily. you've got to kind of be around them and watch them and kind of pick their brains a little bit.
Yeah,
You know,
that was when I went out there, and we're getting close to time, which I really don't want to end.
I know, I hate it.
I actually was informed that there were 10 minutes left, and I was going,
oh,
no.
do we even take questions from the fans?
We
did. Okay.
I've been sitting in chat and kind of picking them out,
cool,
and that's
cool.
kind of why I jumped in, because I know there was at least one more here.
Okay,
guys,
cool.
we can run a couple minutes late. If you want to throw questions up, we can kind of rocket fire through them.
Real quick, before the questions roll, I do have to ask you to shout out to a friend of mine.
Okay.
He's going by Zed in the chat, but his name's Matt, and
Matt.
he really thinks you're incredibly smart and talented, and so...
Matt, I appreciate it. This is let me say, this is Jim Raynor from Starcraft, Matt, and I just wanted to say thank you for the shout out. Right back at you, Matt.
He probably
Right back
got
at
the
you, good
best
buddy.
one.
Yeah.
That's probably the best shout out we've gotten. Okay.
Matt's a man who's got a good opinion. I agree with Matt.
Yes.
Matt knows what he's talking about.
Yes, he does. He's a good man.
Never mind. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to. Okay, so the one question I got was, what's the strangest voice you've ever done?
Strangest voice. Oh man, let me think. Oh jeez. Oh, I can't say this because it's. I signed an agreement that I can't tell you. Oh, I almost said something. Damn. Okay. It would. Oh, you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. The strangest voice is a character that I call the Sod Buster, and it's just like an old Western guy that I've used on several occasions in different things. I've used him on promos, all kinds of stuff. But he's kind of a Texan, talks like this. He just cooks a lot of salt. All right. Hey, what's going on?
Oh, the sad thing is that I know people like that. That's
Hell,
just
of course
like
you do. Hell yeah. Everybody knows somebody like the Sod Buster.
He's almost like a Texan DI. Like, yes.
Well, he's busy busting sod. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what he's doing with sod, but he's busting it up. So, and I've done a lot of voices on like 2.5 Men, where I've done quite a few of the voiceovers for them of like marital enhancement ads. You know, because Charlie seems to always be watching something on TV, or I was like an astronaut on the space shuttle in Big Bang Theory. So it's more like crazy, quirky things like that, as opposed to, you know, I was the voice of a toothbrush on some ad or something.
The voice of I don't know how you'd put that on a resume. I was the toothbrush. I mean,
I was the toothbrush. Yeah.
I cleaned teeth. That was my job description.
Listen, you look at those ads on television, and they'll be like, you know, what are those things that give you bad breath or something? They're down in your belly. What are those weird things that the green creatures? Somebody auditioned for those. Somebody got them, and those guys are making a lot of money doing that stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. One more call out. Does anybody have any questions? And there's a little delay here, so we'll give them a second. But
all right. Since
we're on that wrap up point here, I want to make sure we get all the questions.
I should also, while you're doing that, I should also push or at least let people know that they can follow me on Twitter. It's basically just Rob Clotworthy on Twitter, and I do have a Facebook fan page that I do, you know, really try to interact with the fans, let them know what's going on, and it's Robert Clotworthy, as opposed to a regular Facebook, which, to be honest with you, the normal Facebook page that I have, people ask me, you know, they want to be my friend on it. I really don't respond because I don't really pay attention to that page. I honestly don't, because it's people that are, you know, talking about what they had for lunch, and I'm not interested in that. I like to interact with the fans, and I only like to talk about stuff that's going on or something that might be interesting to them. So people that you know, have tried to be a friend with me on Facebook page, join the fan page, man. I honestly will respond to you. We'll have conversations. It'll go back and forth. It's not like, you go into a black hole and you're never heard from again.
Yeah, I've looked, the accessibility is just so awesome. And the fact that you